Alright, what's up everybody? On deck with Third Eye Cam. Today's date, January 15th, 2022, and the time is 15:50, 3:50 for my civilians. Gonna kind of flip things different today. I wanted to make a video kind of like this, but not like this. Don't mind the chair, this is a video gaming chair. And just got the lights running. I like colorful lights because they represent, from biblically what I've learned, God, the rainbow that got subverted into something as it currently is, that didn't start out in its original form. But that leads me to my topic today. I've been watching a lot of videos because I'm on a kind of a spiritual walk. I've had my rage walk, dealing with past family members, people that really did me wrong for no reason and didn't want to communicate as to why they felt the need to do me wrong. They just did it. And I had to make a decision between disciplining myself from beating them into a pulp and just outright just staying away from them. So I still have a bit of a lot of rage in me because, like, a lot of people, like I said, did me real dirty. But then it led me to realize, like, just like in the Bible, and I'm not talking about like stand up, do you dirty. I'm talking about do you so dirty that it cuts to the core of your heart, and it could gut the humanity out of you to want you to resort to like having to take somebody out, however that may be. But since I've been trained in that method, it's not a necessary, and it couldn't be reconciled. But what I'm getting at is that's just my thoughts. Trust me, your boy ain't psychotic other than being Marine Corps crazy. I'm good. I realized, like, just like in the Bible, I think I got put on a journey. I feel like I did because it's still ongoing. I still have like what I would call demons attacking me in my sleep. Literally, you see I look tired. I don't get much sleep. I'm in school currently. Slightly struggling with that because I'm having to prioritize between life and schoolwork, homework, and I have to make it work. Some days it gets to be overwhelming. It's not an easy walk. So even though going to college is very exciting, but when you have to deal with life outside of your own life, then it becomes like more so there of a burden. It's not like I'm fresh out of high school. I've already exalted through life, military, war, what have you. So aside from that, I feel like I'm on some kind of biblical journey, just like the way the Bible continues, where you got the good trying to do good, like, honestly. Because I could be out, here's some examples. I could be out selling drugs, like on a grand scale, not like just in my town. I'm talking about up and down the freeway because I have the equipment to do it. That's just an example. I don't care for that. So don't say, hey, Third Eye Cam says he wants to go sling dope. Don't do that, all right? Be sentient. Walk with me on this journey because I got some things to put out. I don't really looking into the camera, so excuse me if I look away. I have sensitive eyes. I had PRK eye surgery, and I do have a light behind the camera, and I don't prefer to look at it. So kind of work with me as I'm looking around, because trust me, I can look anybody in the eye straight and not blink, but I don't want to deal with all this light. But what I'm getting at is I feel like people make it seem like the Bible ended, but no, the Bible still continues. The journey still continues. From the time it said that Amen at the end of it, there was a continuation, even though there was a lot taken out, But the thing is, I listen to a lot of people who speak biblically, and a lot of them are really righteous. And big up to Big Judah, because he has taken it a step further. He's answered a lot of my questions that I've often pondered as a child since I was 7, and I really started learning about the church and God and the Bible. And I'm from North Carolina, which is pretty much south of it's a southern state. It might say North Carolina via the title, state title, but it has southern ways, deeply southern ways. The people are really good people from the last time I dealt with them, and when I do continue to deal with them, as opposed to what I've dealt with, apart from it. Mostly, specifically up north, the people tend to get real brutal, like arrogantly, stupidly brutal, and they can cause a bit of an irritation. But what I'm getting at is everybody, apart from myself, apart from everybody else, is on a journey, a biblical journey, whether it be good or bad. And the reason why I say bad, Satan is written in the Bible too. The Satans, the Luciferians, the Lucifers, the whatevers, the devils, the evils, the ones that did not have life breathed into them. So they are forging their own Bible within that Bible, and it still continues to this day. When I do hear everybody speaking about, their biblical context of the Bible, even growing up through church, one thing that always irritated me with people is the pastors. They were always screaming the power of God, the power of God, just the awesomeness of God. Yes, that's awesome, beautiful. But I've never heard anybody address God's feelings. How you think God feels about this? Everybody asks, what would Jesus do? But nobody asks, how does God feel about this? Like, they kind of just jump over God's head like God doesn't have any feelings, whether God is a he or she or it or some kind of sentient being. Nobody never really covers that, like, how does God feel about this and this and that, and that's a question I had to learn how to ask myself as I was going through my life. Like, how does God feel about me doing this? I'm also asked that question now these days than I used to when I was younger. Really wasn't paying attention, really wasn't versed in understanding what God truly is. And I think after walking through, military and war zones in the world, because I've literally, just with being military, yes, but I have, I volunteered my time, my services to walk with the military via the Marine Corps around the world, through its training, rigorous, through a war zone, survived all that, and big up to all my Marine brothers and sisters and my other military brothers and sisters that lived through the war and the ones that didn't make it quite home to be with their families. But still, apart from that, a war still rages and continues, I don't require any high praise and whatnot, but when I came back from the war, it seems like there was a whole new war back in the United States. Was it 2008, turn of 2009, up until current? There's been a whole new war, and it's gotten really silly, like beyond stupid. It's like certain people have to keep things alive to make them feel like they're relevant. For example, all the Confederate types and the racist type people, I get reminded a lot that I'm melanated. I always get the N-word here and there. Like, literally, since I've been in Virginia, I've gotten the N-word thrown at me by a Caucasian in a real hateful manner, and they relished off of it. They just, you could see them feeling good about saying it, and then they all ran away from me. And they know they're protected by the laws of the land, because if you put us back in a barbaric state of living like Conan, where there are no laws, a lot of people would be dead, like literally behind that word. But right now they're having a field day with it, and every time that I get reminded of that I'm something that really means nothing to them, but in all due reality, it's a threat to them because it's more powerful, and that's all this is. It's more powerful. Then that lets me know that they're cowards. I really don't go around cursing people by their skin color. I really honestly don't, y'all. Like, it's just so limited. God allowed this down here for a reason. He allowed it to see how we would get along, and this is all a test, And then I jump on the internet and I hear like people, no matter what their color, few one brother I watch, I really agree with him on a lot of information. I love the way he brings information, but I think at one point he had a big hate towards God, and that's where I drew the line with him. But I still continue to listen to him. I enjoy listening to him. You know, and the reason why I don't say his name, I don't want y'all to go, chasing and starting stuff, because a lot of people have a problem with carrying bones. I don't deal with that. I would prefer to deal with that person directly, myself. But I put that out there because a lot of persons that have a platform can subvert a lot of your thinking processes if you're not doing your own research. Doesn't the Bible say study to show yourself approved? I'm now just starting to get into that whole deal. My brain is just starting to wake up. I was asleep for a long time. I was always intelligent, I knew it, but I could never find my focus. I'm still getting there. It ain't there yet. Just like the movie Lucy. Look at the movie Lucy. Woman's brain parameters were enhanced all the way up to 100% of her brain capacity from the standard 10% that we use. I would like to have that, honestly. But I'm not allowed that right now. But and I hear like another channel arrogantly come off with the question, what have we done wrong? Like, and it was so airheaded to me that this person would not read through history, but they're just going to ignore history to show the truths that the history is written about, and then they'll probably draw boundaries in their head and say, well, I wasn't there, it has nothing to do with me. But if you have lived off of the privilege of easy access to wealth and access to education without any kind of beat down processes, because I'm going through that now. Even in with me being in school, I run across a few professors that they make it hard, but it don't bother me because I went through Marine Corps, and that is double time hard. And I always told myself, well, if I fail this course or pass it, if I fail it, that's on me. Unless I just got absolutely cut off from like just wanting to learn, or I got lazy, that's on me. So I don't trip on that. But they still carry that weight, that mind concept. Mind you, I'm in Virginia. This is a Confederated state, so I'm witnessing that. But that's nothing. That's far from here. My mindset is like you get through it or you fail. It's not the end of the world. But I'm gonna exalt myself to be a lot more sharper. But I'm dealing with external issues also with just certain family members. That stuff can take a person out when they're trying to do the best they can, and you got family members trying to subvert you when they realize. And any family members, if you see this, don't say, well, I'm not doing that. Just think beyond you. It's not about you. If you know that you caused me problems, a family member, then you are part of that equation. If you know that you have not caused me any direct or indirect problems, then you're free to go. You're good to go. But I'm not worried about that. I can handle family. Family at some point is gonna have to come talk to me, and I don't mind talking to family. My door is already open and waiting for them to catch up to where I am. Apart from them, just thinking real quick, my mind is all over the place. That's when my words are stuttering. My mind is in different directions. When I'm talking fast, that means I'm on my topic, and I'm not looking for words. Just trying to find a way to say them nicely without insulting, because I can do that real quick. Anyways, some people are posing the question that they did nothing wrong. And yes, keep up with that narrative, because you're trying to excuse yourself from something that your ancestors did that you're gonna have to pay for. Just like with me. I'm paying for a lot of my own dirt in the past that I've done, but I'm also paying for what my ancestors did. And what my ancestors did was turn their backs on God. Nobody really brings that topic up in full, except for Big Judah. Rap the News brought it up, and God rest his soul. Rest in peace, Rap the News. But everybody else seems to be running from the topic. You better stand up. If you're man enough to call me the N-word, and act all cocky and arrogant out in the world like you're for sure of yourself, you better be for sure of yourself when you get ready to stand before God and explain yourself, because I'm gonna have to do it, and I'm gonna get on my freaking hands and knees in my face and won't get up until he tells me to get up. He's gonna excuse me or shoot me to hell. So, with that being said, my thought process for a while now, not just today, I've had this for like decades now. I'm only 4 decades and 7 score, you know what I mean? But since I was 7, that's when I kind of understood my little walk that I was getting ready to get put into. And like, it's been a hard road, man. I get so attacked by demons, whether just in the people form or in my sleep. It's not because they're after me because I owe them something. I don't owe them nothing, and they're trying to break my mental. That's how the devil's end is near. And so when I show these planets in the sky, and if you look in the Bible where God says there's going to be signs in the sky, those are your signs. For those that are pretending like they don't see anything, you're either mentally blind or you see it and you're pretending like it's not there because you know that your time is up. So I'm not putting my cameras up and every day going through terabyte hard drives to bring y'all videos, and so far I got 700 and some videos, and that's just all pure research. You ain't gonna never find me reaching for something that ain't there unless I'm asking the question, what is it? But like I've seen a lot of people who are probably paid off to reach, and that's why I gave one individual a hard time, because he literally went way out his way to indirectly attack me by going through another YouTuber who was on the same parallel as myself that I kind of followed, and not to compete with him. I was wanting to show what I was seeing on my side of the world, since I realized he was in a different country, and that's what that's all about. No competition. I just walked away from being a Marine. I don't have to compete with nobody. You know what I mean? So with that being said, this is, to me, business. Strict business. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for all that crazy stuff. Like I said, I'm pausing because I'm trying to find nice words to say. Again, I used to be a Marine. We get fiery in the mouth, and I was already born an Aries, so I was born fiery, straight up. I have a temper on me, not a petty temper. I'm very exalted, and if I did have a petty temper, it was from my childhood. But I grew up since then. Have grown up since then. So, I'm putting this message out because you can ask anything you want in the world, but don't play games. Do not play games. Like I said, this one individual kept asking the question, like, what did we do wrong? But I can see it in her eyes that she damn well knows what the world did wrong. You cannot excuse yourself, and I hope you see this, and I'm not saying your name out of respect for you. A lot of people have figured out who you are, but this ain't no game. Trust me, I could outright disrespect you. I have no problem like that. You can ask the guy that just changed his name recently because he has an identity crisis that I chewed up all last year because he's just phony. He wants to be real, but he's in conflict with himself, and I've already put that out there to him. But I'm trying to get away from disrespecting him, but I just want him to calm down from like trying to want all this attention. If he cannot, then he has a sickness, and I can't help him with that. He's going to receive some God help on that. But a lot of people at the same time use the Bible as a freaking shield while they talk ugly to you and use the words and talk at you with it. But those words are going to consume them, just like Pharaoh's words consumed him when he was going up against Moses. So be careful what you say out of your mouth. Be careful of the questions that you ask when you already know the truth, like, what did we do wrong? We did nothing wrong. Why are you coming for humanity? Well, I will tell you, God can come for whoever he wants. So you're not talking to the government. They ain't got that kind of power. You're not talking to the devil. He ain't got that kind of power. People can pretend to have that kind of power. But, I mean, you can kill a person's flesh, but you can't kill a person's soul. God can only kill the soul over and over and over, whatever. A lot of y'all come off like you're just so valiant and omnipotent that you can just take things out by word of mouth, and I think you're very shrewd verbally, and I think you're very weak physically, because people that run their sucks continuously on some verbiage that makes no sense, they're very weak. Actions speak louder than words. I have to remind myself of that when I feel like I might come off as petty, and I rarely come off as petty these days. I have to be brought down to that level, especially with what I'm learning, because every day I wake up, I seek God. I seek God. I don't have time for man. I let the world go a long time ago, short of having to be caught up in it by working, learning, spending their money, this world's money. You know, that's the remnants of what I'm having to deal with now. I'm already advanced beyond that, and a lot of y'all are too. It's nice to have things, but then sometimes you look around at all the crap you got, you be like, do I really need this? That's how I am. I'd be happier. Like, I always admire animals. Like, I have a great cat, and I call him Mr. Miyagi. He has kittens, but cats are very resourceful. They can go hunt their own food. They can go drink their own water. They're survivalists. Man has gotten so physically comfortable that we probably would survive, but we complain about the whole thing. But our bodies are not made for, like, the way the animals run through the woods, and they got their claws and their teeth to get them to where they need to get to in their strength. We have our brains and our ingenuity. That's a good thing. Never had a problem with that. But us living at the end of this world is I see a lot of weak people who complain about everything, even on TV. Like, the thing is, all your famous people, imagine if the economy crashed and all their money was no more, and they had to get down and grovel like the rest of us. You know how worthless they'd be? So you need to count yourself, if you got a skill, as blessed. And a lot of y'all go run to them and worship after them, like, oh my God, this person and all their money and wealth and big mansions and this and that. Why are you giving your power away? I done met plenty of famous people, and you know how I treated them? Civil. Like, on the level. I didn't care. I didn't step to them like, oh my God, I'm your biggest fan. I got a cousin who's famous, and that's my dude, Fonte, from Little Brother, and Drake. That's Drake's favorite rapper. If y'all know Drake, the rapper. Where you think Drake got his style from? Drake got his style from a lot of people, but that was one of the first. And Drake even said in his music, big up Lil Bro. If you ever heard him say big up Lil Bro, he's talking about my cousin's rap group, Little Brother, aka Fonte. And he also, if you watch the Boondocks, he raps at the intro to Boondocks. If you hear the guy rapping the intro to Boondocks, that's my cousin, Fonte. That's my family. Like, I've been knowing him since his day one. And he was in and out of my life every time. Big up to his mother, Lisa, and his grandfather, Mr. Coleman, grandmother. They were like my family when they were living. I went and checked on them, and it wasn't because I was looking for him. As I got older, this is even before he got famous, I would always walk around the corner. Hey, Miss Coleman, Mr. Coleman, just coming to check on you. Do you need anything? That's how I grew up. Like I said, from the South. And Fonte can attest to that. He's from North Carolina also. We're both from a small town called Red Springs. I was born in Lumberton, North Carolina. My dad was a soldier at Fort Bragg in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So now that you know. Also, you know, that's from J. Cole's from. I know him too. That's a good brother. That's the rapper J. Cole. You know, if you ever heard Lords of the Underground, I know them. Al Tariq and Ducati, do it all. Those are my peoples. Big up to Beta Road, Mr. Good, Aleem, Amin, all y'all brothers. And my Gamma Tau chapter of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. Big up to all them. Big up to Phi Beta Sigma, Iota chapter. Those are the people that really literally took me under their wings when I was in college. And whether we parted ways on bad deals or not, those are my peoples. And of course, big up to my Marines. Calm. But back on topic. A lot of y'all gonna have to do some harsh adjusting because the world's getting ready to get a lot more ridiculous for you, not for me. I'm already there. I'm moving so fast in my head that I got demons that come at me trying to slow me down, but I'm moving fast towards God's direction. Again, this ain't about just me or you, or I think I'm right and I think you're wrong. this is a prepper to another conversation that's gonna come. Um, um, at the end of this conversation, it's like, have y'all considered God's feelings on anything? Do you understand God might be just as fragile at the same time being very strong, meaning his power is just unbreachable, untouchable, but you could hurt his feelings just as well, even though you'll have to pay for it. But you could just as well hurt God's feelings. So you need to consider that when you start asking questions like, what have we done wrong? You need to go deep into the history. It's starting to be found out that, just like in the Bible said, a lot of people stole our history and divvied it out to different nations, aka different races that we see all over the world. And that my ancient people, under God's posterity and God's giving, started all this. And I believe it. I've always believed it. Not because I'm stupid and not because I want it to be that way. I could care less, honestly, because I'm comfortable with Hindu Indians having their religion, Asians having their religion, who else? Jewish-ish, because I'm not disrespecting them having their religion. It's not a knock to them. I don't really know about Ham, aka so-called Africa, but and my Native Americans having their religion. Somewhere in history, before everything spread into a rainbow like what you see behind me of different colors, everything came in on a white light. And when I say white, I don't mean as in a race. I mean as in a thought process, pure light. Because really, so-called white is really pink, peach skin. So like, that's just a mental concept, just like black is a mental concept. First of all, I'm not black. I'm an Aboriginal. I'm a descendant from an Aboriginal. And they call them Hebrews, they call them Ebro, they call them British, they call them Irish. So guess what? Yes, there are black Irish people who are predated your Caucasian Irish, and I know a lot of y'all ain't gonna like that. I do not care, but that's the history that got hidden from a lot of subverters who didn't want the truth to get out of what really is, you know? And that's a sad state of affairs when you have to go change somebody's history to make it your own. But at the same time, I also look at hip hop, because I came from the era where I saw hip hop get born. Rap, anything that deals with rhyming, rap, this music that y'all listen to, it has taken many forms. But I saw it get born, and my parents' generation absolutely hated it. They hated it. Now they started warming up to some songs. Like my dad, he loves Will Smith's "Summertime." That was his joint, but he hated rap. I'm pretty sure he likes a little bit more of it secretly, but you know, those are people that I would consider that are stuck in their little mindset. Like I love the music that my parents came up off of. I love jazz. One time I had to, like, I took this African dude home. We had a decently lengthy conversation, but I put on the jazz channel because I like jazz. I play jazz. I have a cornet trumpet, which is sitting over there in the case, and I haven't pulled it out in years. You know what? I should pull it out. Hold up, I'm gonna go get my trumpet. All right, I'm back. I had to get my trumpet. I haven't put this thing in like a while, so this is my cornet. I got this in high school. I played this thing from the age of 9. Yeah, 9 years old. I've had this thing since I was 9. I'm 47 now, so that's about to be 40 years. So that's my cornet. That's the mouthpiece. I haven't blown it in years, but yeah, it's sticky. You gotta keep these things up. Yeah, so anyways, I ain't gonna blow it. Embarrass myself. You have to lubricate the valves and warm your lips up. Anyways, I've had that thing since I was 9 years old. So it's been a beautiful instrument. And the reason why it's significant to me, because I've always heard, you know, you blow your trumpet in the Bible. You know, they talk about how, you know, the walls of Jericho were brought down by loud trumpets and, you know, vibrational energy. So I always attributed that to that. And what happened was, in high school when I graduated, the school was getting new instruments, so they literally so-called donated or gave this to me. And also I have a brass one. They told me to keep that too because that one was beat to hell. And I repaired that one and I played this one. I've had this one. This has gone with me all the way around the world. I even took this to Iraq with me when I went. It's been in Hawaii, California. Of course, it came from North Carolina. But this thing's got some good time on it. And I always keep it close to me. One of my sacred instruments. When I die, I want to be buried with this. I wanted to take it, something of it with me into heaven. Be a trumpet blower, as well as a Marine. But anyways, it's time to get serious, people. Y'all can continue to play games and roll with the devil, but like that mess right there needs to come to an end. Stop playing games. Y'all think things are bad now? A lot of y'all gonna look back 5 years from now and wish you were still stuck in 2022, 2021, 2020. Everybody's running crazy about this virus. It's just a name. It's been here for a long time. They just found ways to make it more painful for us. So it's gonna be something worse that's gonna come worse than that. So don't get stuck on that. Do not get stuck on that. It's had various names since 2020, and I'm not gonna go over them, but it's just time to do better, time to think better. If you're on God's side, you need to consider God's feelings, because things are getting ready to literally go into a drastic change. Now, if you're on the side of the Satans, you can get ready to go through some severe pain, whatever that's gonna be. Don't know. We can only speculate, but it ain't gonna be nice. Right? So we'll have more topics like this. This is fairly new to me. I don't like really putting the camera in my face. I always had a fascination with the sky, and I always love looking up and showing y'all what the heavens are yielding, because I'm all about that life. When I was younger, I wanted to be an astronaut, pilot, all that good stuff. I watched a lot of Star Trek. In fact, I was just watching Star Trek Discovery. It's one of my favorite shows with Commander Michael Burnham, because that's telling the story also that's connected to the Bible. A lot of y'all gotta pay attention to it. But I'm gonna stop here for right now because I got homework to do. I'm gonna come back with that because I'm about to fail out of a course if I don't finish this test. It's this little examination. Joking, but seriously. So we'll get back to y'all. If YouTube would ever give me a live session, we could have our own little sessions. I don't mind that. I really would like to dialogue with a lot of people, to come on and have a conversation. I know some of them will get indignant, but we'll get to that point if I ever get to that point. But they're kind of just like keeping me from going live, and I've actually they give me the option to go live, but every time I acknowledge it, they still keep me on hold, so they don't quite trust me. YouTube, you can trust me. I'm not gonna attack YouTube. However, if you're rolling with the devil, no matter if you're with YouTube, everyday life, the government, individuals that have submerged themselves in different factions, then this is for you. Your time is short. You ain't gonna outlast or outlive what was. Just like my father before me, I am the Alpha and Omega. And you gotta go through us to get answers. God mandated it. Then he told Satan, you must bow before my new creation. And a lot of people think it's got everything to do with them, but a lot of y'all about to be in a world of hurt when you find out that in the Bible wasn't really talking about you. No, I'm not gonna say it was talking about me. I don't know, but I got a pretty good idea. All we gonna do is sit and wait. We're gonna sit and wait and find out. For the time being, I admonish you to go over to Big Judah, BIGJUDAH. Go over to his channel. Go back over some of Rap the News' information. I didn't agree with a lot of things that he said, but he's a valuable brother that gave a lot of valuable information. I might fight with Alex a lot, but Alex gives valuable information, so I'm not gonna omit him because I give him enough hell And so I'm gonna give him the credit because I'm mature like that. He pisses me off, but I get where he's at in his head. He's in conflict with himself, right? Mr. The Real Planet X Hunter. Go check out Planet X Hunter's channels. Go check out Uriel. Go check out Brittany Has Eyes. Of course, y'all checking me out, so I appreciate you. Who else? A lot of my peoples. A lot of my subscribers put out videos too, so just check them all out if you can get to them. All right, I'm gonna jump off here because I got homework to do. So y'all hang tight with me. We'll be back. Third Eye Cam. Cool.